I was on here live this morning. I'm actually in Vegas. We're leaving later this morning, heading back, and I just wanted to say I apologize for not getting a video up at 7 a.m. this morning. But what had happened was I had planned on working on it here in Vegas. I had loaded it on my laptop, and I left the charger for my laptop at home, so it didn't make it out here. So we got a little bit of a rattle going on right now, but as you can tell. So I think what I'll probably do is the video that I was working on, it's a Daytona video. I'll probably put that up Monday morning, since it looks like I'll be back too late tonight to do it. Immediately I go back to work tomorrow morning, so unfortunately it sets me back a week. So thanks, William, I appreciate that. Oh yeah, you're right, that charger is a checklist item. It wouldn't have been such a big deal if it was just a day trip or an overnight, but we were here for 3 nights, and there's just no way I can do stuff like that on my iPad, and it kind of limits me in some other things also. We're out here in the Challenger. I'm out here with Jeff, and I did a little Instagram live feed this morning, about 15-20 minutes, explaining to those people over there the same thing. So anybody got any new types? Private pilot? Solo? Anything like that? Hey CeeLo, good to see you from CeeLo Productions, man. You're just blowing up over there. Yeah, I think it's intermittent, the bandwidth that I'm getting here. Yeah. Michael, good to see you. John, good to see you. B. Evans, good to see you. Jeff is cool. I spent the last 4 days with Jeff. Yeah, we're down here. We're actually staying at the MGM Signature is where we're staying. I'm actually right now just finished my exercise, and I'm sitting right under New York here. I kind of moved off the strip to kind of reduce some of the noise. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. Really do. Let me see if I can flip this real fast and show you exactly where I'm at. There we go. Okay, there's a little park down here. You can see New York up there. Back behind me, you can just kind of barely see the arena. There's the arena right there. Okay, let me flip it back again. It takes just a moment. Hey Jim, good to see you from Australia. That's a long way from here. Yeah, I got a friend down on the south coast of Australia, an olive farmer, Robert. Great guy. But man, you guys have been dealing with some issues down there with those fires and the smoke and the heat and all that. That's awful. Not that Brent, back to the race, not that I know of. No, and we weren't there for Daytona. We were actually in Daytona for that 24-hour race they had. And, excuse me, our hotel, we got a last-minute hotel, Motel 6 right next to the track, and you could hear that race going all night long, laying in bed. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Yeah. Pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. Hey, Alejandro, good to see you from Destin. Yeah, Destin's a great place. I used to do a lot of trips there, but not anymore. Eric from New Jersey, good to see you. I do a lot of commercial flying, you're right. And that's kind of how the job is set up, because my primary job is flying the Excel. You know, that one, I'll be on that regardless of what's happening on the other planes. I only do the other planes if there's nothing happening with the Excel. And what will happen sometimes is I will go out, and I may be coming back actually because one of the other airplanes needs to fly. Because one of the partners actually has 3 other airplanes. So, but if I can't do that, because like I said, the Excel is the priority, then we'll get a contract pilot to fly the other, or they'll work out something else. He's actually really good about flying the airlines. He will fly Southwest if they have a deal before he'll fly his Challenger. So that's just the way of the world, isn't it? Mark, good to see you from Ontario. Good to see you. Excuse me. It looks like now I'm probably going to get typed in. Just last week we had some changes. I was really never doing anything more than just filling uh, in that seat. And like I said, if an Excel trip came up, well, so long, you know, you'll have to get a crew for that. Or he would take Southwest, is what he would actually do if it wasn't available. Uh, oh, hit the like button and subscribe. I am so bad. I'm glad you said that. I am so bad about social media and this stuff because I always forget to say, oh yeah, subscribe, hit the like button, check out my Instagram, my Facebook, and all that stuff. Um, I do want to say, speaking of social media, it just popped into my mind, a couple of folks have actually uh, sent me or requests for LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn. I very seldom check in on LinkedIn. I think the last time I checked in was 4 or 5 months ago. So, yeah, be careful if you're going to send me something through there. It may end up being a long time until I ever see that. Uh, CeeLo, man, I see you keep popping up there. CeeLo, I know from Signature at Nashville. I used to fly to Nashville every single week, like clockwork. And he was there at the Signature in Nashville. Great guy, great place to stop. They got a great crew there. Um, so what time is it? I got to meet Jeff at 9:30 for breakfast. And since I'm the one with the credit card, I don't want to be late, leave him in a lurch. That ends up being a little bit of a pain if you ever done contract type work, because then you put it on your credit card, it's not a problem. But now you got to do some additional paperwork for being reimbursed for that. Yeah. But that's okay. John from Florida, man. Well, it's nice down there. It is nice. When we left St. Louis, what's that? That Friday. When we left Friday, the temperature was 2 degrees. It was unbelievably miserable. We landed here in Vegas and it was probably 75 when we landed. And I'm out there taking care of the bags and stuff wearing insulated underwear. It's like, man, I had to get to the room and get rid of that stuff. It's just too nice here. A little cool this morning, probably about 60 where I'm sitting here. Not a whole lot of traffic here, if that though. Hey, Cape Town, South Africa. Good to see you, Michael. Yeah. Wow, that is a long way from here. I've watched some videos from there. It's a beautiful, beautiful place there. CMI? Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. So I for some reason this popped into my mind earlier today, and I didn't put it on the Instagram live feed that I did, but I thought, I'll just tell this little story because most of you were actually aviation enthusiasts that watch my vlogs. And when I was a kid, I found a bicycle in a ditch, and I cleaned that bicycle up and took some parts from another bicycle and made a bike that was a 10-speed at that time, which was really a pretty cool thing to have when I was a kid. And for Christmas, from my parents, I had gotten this kit. It was a Heath kit where you could actually build an aviation band radio. And I did that. You do the soldering, you solder everything, and you build an aviation band radio. And it would take batteries, D-cell batteries, which would not last that long. But what I did was, and I didn't tell my parents this, I took that bike and I rode my bike all the way from Parkway Village, that was on the east side of Memphis, to Memphis International. And there was a little pull-off next to the runway with a tree where cars could pull in and watch the planes land. And I would take my radio on my back and climb up in that tree, and I would sit there and watch the airplanes land. And I was probably 12, maybe 13 years old, I don't know, and listen to what they were saying on that aviation band radio. And it was so much better than sitting in my house and doing it for one important reason. That is VHF radio, which is what we use in aviation, is line of sight. It's strictly line of sight. So if you're talking on the radios in the airplane to a ground facility, you've got to have line of sight. And so since I was on the ground listening to the airplanes, and ATC who was responding to them was at Memphis Center, that was not within my line of sight. I couldn't hear the other side of the conversation. And so I would sit out there take my lunch for hours, went through a lot of batteries, and listen to those airplanes out there. Just thought I would share that with you. Just one of those little things. And I wanted to address this also real fast because somebody asked me about it on Instagram. Oh, hey, Denver? Providence? Cool. Do I ever get nervous flying through storms? Absolutely. I try not to fly through storms. The few times I have been inside storms, it has not been pleasant. You don't want to be there. You want to be flying around the storms. You know, I must have ADD because I get distracted from what I'm saying when these comments come up here. But, you know, people say, oh, does Jeff ever let you fly? Well, actually, Jeff does let me fly. All the empty legs, I fly. And you don't see this, but I've actually flown in the left seat also, flying the airplane, just to get a feel for the left seat. And the guy that owns the airplane, we went to pick him up, and we pulled up on that ramp, and he's standing outside waiting for us, and I'm in the left seat. I don't know, maybe that's what made him start thinking about getting me typed. But that is legal, as long as there are no passengers on board. And I've got my 6155, you know. So, in like 121 or something like that, where it's seat specific, we could not do something like that. B. Evans. Oh yeah, I love aviation. I love it. In fact, we were walking down the strip yesterday and went into an art gallery. I can't remember which casino it was in. We were on our way to dinner, and this guy had these photos he had taken, and they looked like they glowed, but he had a huge picture. Somebody's honking over there. It was a DC-3 as the sun was setting, and I thought, oh man, I would love to have that picture. Just the whole wall in my living room would be a DC-3 at sunset. Never flown one. I think it would be fun though. Yeah, absolutely. So let's see who else is here. Oh, we got 85 people here. Yeah. So give me a like. I'm trying to remember. You guys encourage me to remember this stuff. If you don't subscribe to me, subscribe. I'm trying to get these videos out at 7 a.m. every Monday morning. Live stream like once every 6 weeks type thing. They don't get the same interest that the videos do. You know, usually I lose, you know, dozens of followers when I actually start talking in real life. But no, I might lose one. This isn't what I signed up for. Elliot's at Concord, MSP, saw MSP, didn't see who that was. The 315, yes, I made that. And I had been working on that video and working on it, and I, excuse me, I can't believe I forgot to put that I made the deadline. We had 15 minutes either side, and when I planned for this, I put in buffers of time because I expect that it was a very busy time right after Christmas, and on the day, you know, I thought, you know, Miami Center is going to be saturated. That's an issue. They don't have radar low like at Nassau. It doesn't have radar. It's all being, I'm sure, repeated out of Miami. But that only goes down so low because of the curvature and the angle that it comes up. So I would guess the radar there probably doesn't go below 10,000. And that causes a delay. I mean, you've got to wait. And then they have a lot of VFR traffic that's actually coming in from the other islands. Hey, B. Evans, thanks, man. You bought me hey, that's a signature, not a signature, that's a Starbucks cup of coffee there is what that is. Absolutely. Only the best. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. I heard that little beep. I didn't see it because there's a little bit of glare here. And I thought, uh-oh, my boss is trying to get hold of me right now. Send me on another mission. Head out there. Hopefully someplace interesting or fun. Yeah. See. You know, I told this story, Jim, but I'll say it again real fast. He's been in the aviation business for years. His primary business was a helicopter business. And he owned and still owns a significant number of helicopters that are leased out. And gosh, he probably owned 90 helicopters. But in addition to that, his primary business, he had fixed wing jets because he was a pilot himself. And he could fly them turboprops and jets. And he would buy and sell, buy and sell. Every time he bought one that had a low N number, when he sold it, he reserved the N number. That was part of the deal. He got to keep the N number. The buyer would get a new N number. And so then when he bought the other airplane, then which replaced it, he would replace the short N number. And that's how he got this handful of short N numbers. So, oh gosh, I think somebody else did that, and I did not see it. I heard it ding. I apologize. The person who bought me another cup of coffee. My bad. But so he would reserve it, and when he bought a new airplane, he would put that N number on. That's where NU9 uniform came from. 2 uniform, 5 Lima. I've been with him for 11 years, and we've gone through a lot of airplanes with a lot of short N numbers. Yeah, but I don't think you could do that unless you were buying and selling a lot of airplanes. You might get one. That'd probably be about it. Yeah. So, yeah, I was going to ask, are you people not at work today? Is everybody at home? Or am I the only one that just bums around in places like this, when they should be working? I shouldn't say that. That really will get me in trouble. Yeah. So, beautiful here in Vegas today. Hey, John's retired. Good for you, man. Tim is working. Oh, CFL Aero is getting married Saturday. Congratulations. Hey, Bob, it flashed by so fast. I saw you were buying me a big can of that Starbucks coffee. Man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. See, I can't get my things over there. But I'm trying to get better at the whole live thing. Okay, let's see who we got here. I can't answer that one. That might get my that might get my channel demonetized or something like that. No, nobody has ever slipped up and said that. Yeah. So, gosh, and I'm starting to get a little cool here. But okay, let's see. Whose employer won't let him use N numbers on his videos? That's yeah, for a lot of employers, they don't want anything like that. And I probably have told you guys this before. What happened? Because people will ask me, oh, that's so nice, and yeah, did you ever ask? And no, but this happened. The channel happened over many years. I started off just taking little clips from a 360 by 240 resolution camera that had video. Hey Ryan, man, thanks, I appreciate that. We sold the 182. The Caravan took its place. Yeah, so you won't see the 182 again unless he buys another one. But so, oh my gosh, I got totally distracted there. What was I going to tell you? That's what happens when you get to this age, What was that? I don't know. Oh, the camera. Okay, so, and I would eventually take I took videos of other airplanes, but then eventually I'd just kind of set it on the glare shield and catch a landing. 2 minutes of a landing. And I would get another one, and I'd be flying with the chief pilot. He would see me do this. And I ended up flying with another chief pilot. He would see me do it. He was in one. But nobody would watch my videos. No, I couldn't pay people to watch my videos when I started making them. I couldn't get my wife. Well, I could get my wife, but she finally said, that's it. I am not watching another landing. I am not watching another one of these videos till you put people in or yourself in it. And I'd do a little with myself. But this went on for years. They would joke about it in the hangar with the owner there about, oh yeah, Jim takes videos. And I said, but you guys won't watch my videos. Why don't you watch my videos? But over the process of 10, 11 years, the videos actually got better. I never intended to have a vlog. I never really intended to have an aviation channel. It was just a very, very gradual thing. Uh, but then people outside the company that I was flying at that point actually started watching my videos, finding the videos in search, and like relatives would do them. And like I said, it was a gradual process, very subtle, that grew, and everybody knew about it. But because it was originally just so bad, and it had started at a point where this was not an issue, it just kind of evolved and happened. Now everybody knows, and they've known for a while now. It's not something that I was trying to subvertly do or secretly do. Like I said, I couldn't get people to watch it. So, but it's different now. You know, I have people actually ask to be in it. Hey, Canada, good to see you here, Mike. Yeah, good morning. Greetings from Sweden. Okay, Sweden, Canada, you guys know what cold is. Yeah, you do. Hey, JTS, good to see you. Yeah, hopefully, oh, I gotta watch my time here. Let's see, it's not up there, so 2 hours, it's right there. I'm still good. I'm meeting Mike, like I said, at 9:30 for breakfast. Lakeland, Florida. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been to Lakeland. Hey, I appreciate the sub, Jim. Really appreciate it. That helps me a lot. Kenneth, you know, you're right. There are a lot of non-pilots that watch. I would say most of my viewers are non-pilots. They have a love of aviation, and for one reason or another, they just can't really pursue it like they would like to. And that is one reason why I do this, to share it. I enjoy it. I've always loved it, and I really enjoy sharing what this is about with other people, what it's actually like being a corporate or private pilot working in general aviation aircraft. You know, when you think about it, and this is what surprises me, there are probably only a dozen people who do this type of thing on the internet in aviation, a longer vlog, just sharing the whole experience type thing. But it can be a challenge also. Sacramento, good to see you. Hey, Tim from Uruguay, good to see you. Any advice on starting IFR training? Yes, if I were doing it now, if I were starting my IFR training, I would buy one of these flight simulators for my computer and start flying the flight sim is what I would do. Just to learn the basics of how it works, navigation, the radios. And I would also watch aviation videos because the talking is big. And I meant to talk about this. And I would say people should watch my videos and others just to hear the communication that's going on between the aircraft and ATC, because a lot of it is very abbreviated, because the goal is to transfer your information as succinctly as possible. And people always say, well, it's so hard to understand, it's so hard to understand. It is because you're not used to it. If you're used to it, it's basically always the same type thing. That controller is going to tell you, he's going to give you a heading, or an altitude, or a speed, or some clearance. And with a little experience, you have an idea of what you're going to get and when. And that makes it so much easier to understand what is happening and what he's saying. Now, if you're in a smaller aviation aircraft, general aviation aircraft, and you don't have noise attenuating headsets like you're in a Cessna 152, which is what I started out in, and all I had was some really crummy headsets at that time. And it was, even with the headsets, and it was so loud, it was very difficult to understand what they were saying. And what I started doing, which really was very helpful with that, was I would put the earplugs in, put the headsets on. Okay, the earplugs would bring down the sound of the engine noise, the airflow noise, and then I would turn the volume up a little on the headset till I could comfortably hear it. And that, by taking down the external noise, really helped with making it so much easier to understand what they were saying. If you can afford it, you know, because we fly with those Bose A20s, and I love them. They are fantastic. We probably got those, I guess, about a year and a half ago, and I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. They aren't cheap though, but they're excellent headsets. Yeah, Eric is absolutely right. Yeah, Kenneth, you're right. You're right, and they all do great jobs. I mean, like I said, if you're, and even if you're going to go for your private pilot, start listening, watching videos, and listening to the ground aircraft communication. You know, with us, you get a little bit more than that because we're actually communicating back and forth, Mike and I. Hey, Jim, thanks. I appreciated that. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna grab a Starbucks. Yeah. I thought there would be one down here around me right now, but I'm off on a little park next to New York, New York. I don't think I'll be able to get another cup of coffee till I actually go into one of the casinos and do that. So, what else is going on? Oh, the CJ1, it looks like it is going away. It is going to be sold. We did not have that very long. He was in a partnership with my former employer, and they would trade the airplane back and forth. And the former employer's pilot would call me, or I would call him, and they would work out an exchange because the deal was whoever last flew it kept it in their hangar. So sometimes it was in the Spirit of St. Louis hangar, sometimes it was in the Columbia, Missouri hangar. And if you had to fly, if I had to fly it, and they had it last, I had to drive an hour and 45 minutes out to Columbia, pick it up, fly it back, maybe the day before. Sometimes I'd do it the same day, you know, because we had time and it was not a big deal. But that's going, and it would not surprise me if we saw something else take its place. Who knows? Maybe another M2. He's had 2 separate M2s. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens. But okay, I'm coming up on. You know, I thought that was a. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me give it a few more minutes before I gotta go get ready because I'm not. We're actually at the MGM Signature Towers, and I gotta head on over there and do that. Oops. You know what? I appreciate more coffee money, and it came by so fast I couldn't even catch if that was you again. Yes, right now, Javier. And forgive me if I mispronounce your name. But the Caravan right now is the owner's got it down at Tampa. I flew it down there, and a lot of times early spring. Well, actually, maybe even before that, I'll fly the Caravan down there, and he's got a home down there, actually a couple, and he'll use it back and forth, kind of like his family car is what he'll do. And I think I saw I did. I saw a flight where he'd actually been in Nassau with it. So, yeah, still flying the Caravan. I love that airplane. I mean, if you get a chance to fly a Caravan, I always wanted to fly one. It's got fantastic visibility. It's just a little workhorse. I love it. So, oh well. Well, I tell you what. I have enjoyed talking to all you guys this morning, and hopefully the bandwidth was good enough because it's on my end. It's going to jerking. Oh yeah. See, I just had 7 suddenly. Bam, 7 comments come by. Do an airport review. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Oh, GT Mecco. Jeff and I were actually talking about the PC-12 yesterday. He flew them, and he thinks it's a great airplane. He was saying, "Oh man, you would love it. You would love it," because he's thinking, you know, yeah, if we've got a Caravan, heck, why not one of those also? Oh, yep. Grandy, you're right. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, yeah. And remember, what happens in the cockpit stays in the cockpit, except for on this channel, you know. So, all right. Well, it was great talking to you guys. You guys be safe and have a great time out there. Be good. Bye.